Okay, so I'm getting ready to start episode 4 of Death Note. And at the end of episode 3, there was this like absolutely sinister proposition that was made from Ryuk to Light about taking half the years of his remaining life in exchange for giving him a Shinigami's eyes, which to me sounds like a horrible deal. I think Light should run for the hills. Like, I don't think you should trust any deal made with a god of death. But something tells me he's kind of got such a one-track mind, kind of so devoted to what he claims he's going to do, maybe a little bit egotistical that he is perhaps addicted to that power and wants more power. I think there's a chance he might take it, but I hope he doesn't. So let's just check out the episode. Now, during the OP, I do like to remind people that I have a Patreon now, and I know a lot of you are already members of the Patreon, already checked out the Patreon, but if you haven't, I just want to let you know you can check it out because there is a link in the video description. All right, so again, as per usual, we're starting with a little bit of a recap, showing all the folks that were having heart attacks in prison with Light or Kira trying to send a message that he has more control over what's happening than L initially thought. And also kind of recapping his plan to turn L against the police and vice versa. Oh yeah, and a little reminder, there's some mysterious figure that's been following L last episode. And here's that proposition, a Shinigami's eyes for half the remaining years of your life. Like I said, this just sounds like a horrible deal. It sounds like one of those trick deals too, where you get off even worse than what you already think you're getting off pretty badly. And Pursuit is the name of this episode, so this sounds cool. I love the name. Who's going to get pursued? Oh, we're back in the Shinigami realm here. And these other Shinigami are talking about Ryuk, and they're acting like he lost his Death Note in the human world, but he dropped it there on purpose to spice things up. Yeah, they're like totally missing out. Oh yeah, because they're, I noticed that he has that second Death Note on his hip. So, kind of curious how he has 2 Death Notes. And here we are, back with that gambit, that devil's gambit, that deal he's trying to make with Light. And he's kind of just restating the terms of the deal. Alright, what's he gonna say? Oh, thank goodness he said no. I was worried he would take it. He kind of seems, a little too ambitious or something. So I'm glad he turned that deal down. It just seemed like a terrible deal to me, and I was very concerned he was going to accept that deal. Oh, so he's going into detail about why he rejected the deal, and it's still kind of selfish. He wants to extend the length of his reign as the god of this world. Oh boy, but it's going to get boring. I'm telling you, the Shinigami can tell you from the Shinigami realm, it's going to get boring once you maintain your, quote, utopia. The utopia will bore you to tears, buddy. Oh wow, he's even trying to play some psychological games with the Shinigami here, with Ryuk. Interesting twist I didn't expect. Yeah, he's kind of got Ryuk puzzled about how this human is so, like, unimpressed with the Shinigami. He's behaving very differently than Ryuk would have expected. Oh. He, hinting that he's holding something back. Oh, and now Light's telling him, hey, you offered me your wings rather than your eyes, then we might have had a deal. I think he's just teasing Ryuk here now, right? I don't think he really has any interest in those wings. Besides, the eyes are way more impressive to me than wings. He's telling him, that would probably draw some unwanted attention if you sprouted wings. Oh, he's talking about eventually becoming a real Shinigami. Now, I like that twist, that little seed of doubt, perhaps, that he's planting in Ryuk's mind. Oh, but he says he'd make a fine Shinigami. I wonder if they're going to actually explain where Shinigami come from in this story. It would be cool if it is someone like Light who eventually becomes a Shinigami. I like that concept. He's just talking about a lot of mystery around the origin of the Shinigami. So who knows if we'll get to explore it or not. Oh, but Ryuk's telling Light he's more of a Shinigami than the Shinigami that Ryuk knows in the Shinigami realm. Oh, but he doesn't want to be lumped in. Because he's got a purpose. He's not just doing it because it's what he does. He thinks he has a purpose to make the world a better place, which separates him from Shinigami. He's doing it to benefit humans, not just as a force of nature. You know, life and death is just the nature of things. Oh, and he's kind of given Ryuk some inspiration about the actual value of the Shinigami realm, whereas, you know, Ryuk has gotten very bored and calls it rotten. And now he's challenging Ryuk with going back and actually changing the Shinigami realm so it's not so rotten. That's interesting. What kind of game is afoot here between Light and Ryuk? Oh, he just figured something out while perusing the Death Note and looking at the rules again. Let's see what happens here. Oh, he's figured out a way to find out who is following him. Let's see what he does here. He's going to use the rules of the Death Note. Huh. Oh, is this where the Rube Goldberg kind of chain reactions of death is going to start? I kind of remember that from the live-action movie. I don't know if it's in the anime or not, but I suspect it is. And he's going to try to do that to kind of figure out who's telling him, which will be curious. I don't know how he plans to pull this off. But I think that's when a lot of the fun could come into play, as he gets more creative with the Death Note. Oh, so they're getting into the details. He's starting to be a little more creative. So he's got a pentangle or a pentagram on the wall there. I guess it's a pentangle. So this is where he's kind of taking advantage of the circumstances of their death that he can dictate with the Death Note, causing some bizarre events to unfold. Is this to call Watari out, or is this to see who is telling him? Or maybe both? Oh, and he's sending the clues, the evidence to L here. So I think these are just planted there as seeds to draw L in. I think Kira Light knows exactly what he's doing with these clues that have been sent to L. And I think L understands that those are messages to him, sort of Zodiac Killer, Son of Sam style. Yeah, once again, keeping information from the media so they can separate out the posers from the actual Kira with these key details. You know, serial killer apprehension 101. I wonder like what the police are thinking of all this. And of course, L is convinced these are all just tests of something grander that he has planned. I don't think they're tests at all, per se. I think that they're very specifically... Well, he just refers to them as tests himself. I thought it was part of a game. There's this next move on the chessboard. So he's just kind of pushing the bounds of how much he can control about the circumstances of their death. So, positive affirmation? I guess that's redundant, isn't it? Affirmation of his suspicions about just how much power the Death Note grants him over the circumstances of death, and he can elevate things to a whole nother level now, I guess. Oh, so he's trying to, So he did some impossibilities. Yeah, so he's tried a few impossible things to see if it gives them the ability to do something that they shouldn't physically or mentally be able to do. They can't draw a face they haven't seen. They can't travel, like, quicker than is humanly possible. But the things that are feasible, that are realistic, can be done. The unrealistic things, forget about it. So it's not exactly magic. I mean, it's magic, come on, it's a Death Note. But it's not as wizardry magical as it could be. Wizardry. Sorceric. Wizardful. Yeah, even Ryuk's puzzled at this point. You know, near eternity with the Death Note, and even he's learning things about it once it gets into the hands of this lunatic Light. Okay, so he's given them just busy work to keep them occupied, distracted, while Kira actually tries to hone in on both L and the mysterious figure following him. Oh, but it seems like L is his intellectual match, because he's able to kind of look past the ruse, I do believe. Oh, there it is. A message directly to L that, I guess he respects L's ability enough to figure it out. And here we've got a main act. So I want to see exactly what Light has planned here for his grand demonstration of his newly discovered circumstance of death powers with the Death Note. Oh man, a humble brag there about his popularity. Hey ladies, it's me, Light. Oh, waking the poor lady up from her nap. Let her sleep. I hate getting phone calls that wake me up, particularly when they involve supernatural homicide aided by a Death Note and a Shinigami. Those are the worst kind of robocalls to get, right? We're calling to tell you about your Shinigami's extended warranty. Okay, so there's the guy following Light. So let's see what in the heck he has planned as some chain of events to expose the identity of the guy following him, stalking him. Oh boy. Yeah, Ryuk's still in the dark too. He hasn't even shared his plans with the Shinigami. So I guess... Yeah, Ryuk saw what he wrote in the Death Note, but he just can't connect the dots. Oh! No, he doesn't know. Okay, I thought he would just kind of naturally know what's written in the Death Note, but he doesn't. And he doesn't peek because he doesn't want spoilers. I'm telling you, he's watching this anime in first person, unlike us. Oh wow, this young lady is really excited to be on a date with Light here. A bus stop date. Are they just going to chill in the bus stop, watch the buses go by, comment on the wheels on the bus, whether or not they do in fact go round and round? Oh man, taking notes on Chief Yagami's son, and he just said no grounds for suspicion. So it looks like he just shed any kind of suspicion or any kind of appearance of guilt by the guy shadowing him, that I think he's just getting ready to unveil and maybe reignite that suspicion by how bizarre whatever's about to happens to be. This buffering, man, don't know what I'm going to do with you, Funimation. Alright, try again, see if we get through that rough spot. Oh, buffering at the same exact spot. Just have to skip ahead. This is the weirdest thing. It'll hit these spots and buffer, and you can skip ahead, but you can't just like sit through it. Forces me to miss like 9-second stretches sometimes. This is an interesting just little ride on the bus here. It's got like this nice little kind of light romantic background music. Just sort of slice of life background music maybe. And a guy getting on the bus. Oh, the guy getting on the bus. This is the circumstances of this escaped bank robber, right? Oh, 7 passengers. Let's see what he does. Let's see what he does. So, wow, that is pretty complicated, that in his circumstances of death, he's asked him to please go hijack a bus. Oh, wow. He wants a bunch of money, but he's not going to survive this. Like, there's no way Light has him surviving this. He's probably going to be dying pretty soon here. At least he's not driving the bus. Like, if he started driving the bus and then he dropped dead, that'd be bad for all the passengers. What's Light doing? He's handing her a note. Says she's going to be okay. Wow. That is crazy. So he's got his stalker to at least talk to him. Is he going to ask the stalker what his name is? Oh, good. He's asking for proof, for credentials or identification or something. Nice little twist, putting some accusation on the guy he knows is totally innocent because, of course, Light orchestrated this whole thing. So, yeah. He's basically convinced that it's impossible that Light could be Kira. So he's showing him the FBI. He's got the FBI badge, so he's an American. And he's got all of his info. Alright, so he got the information he was looking for. Now is he going to let this hijacker up there die? Is it time for the hijacker to die and end this standoff, this tense standoff? Oh wow, he's really playing this game with the FBI agent pretty sharply. Alright, let's see how FBI guy handles this. I think his name was Ray? Is that what it said? Like Ray Furbin or something? Seems like something unexpected happened to Light here. Like it was not part of his plan. Is he going to see how far he can throw things off kilter? Like, did he make that mistake on purpose? Oh, it was the date plans he dropped. So no, that was something he very much dropped on purpose. Yeah, that was part of... Oh, there's the shadow of Ryuk behind him. I love it. Is Ryuk going to orchestrate the death? So, how did he make it so the guy could see Ryuk? So if he writes in the death note, you'll see Ryuk, it happens? Well, we're learning more about the abilities of the death note, aren't we? Okay, so is the FBI guy going to shoot this guy? Yeah, looks like he's going for his handgun. Oh, it was a piece of the death note, so that's how he can see it. Oh man, this has got some smart stuff in it. Some clever little tricks. Sneaky little hobbitses here. Even Ryuk is impressed with how smart he was. But bullets aren't going to hurt Ryuk, right? He's, fire away. I don't care. You're wasting your bullets. And when is the FBI agent going to pull out his weapon and dispatch with this drug addict that's oh, he's out of bullets now. So now what's going to happen? He's not going to get shot if he's out of bullets. Nobody's afraid of him now. Too bad. He's really haunting this guy by telling him, oh yeah, Ryuk just basically celebrating the intelligence of Light here, but also telling this guy he's in for a long life of misery now that he can see Ryuk. Oh no, this is not going the way I expected at all. So the guy's getting off the bus before he... Oh, there's hit by a car! Is this the circumstance that Light, like, laid out? That he's hit by a car after seeing a shinigami and jumping off the bus in a panic? Wow, everybody reacting to it. Like, I thought that the screen had froze up again, but they were just these long takes of people, you know, reaction shots watching what had just happened. Oh, wow. And Light's impressed that it went down to the minute as he had described it. This was a sweet scene, a sweet circumstance sequence. I loved it. Just recapping the very specific instructions. Once again, isn't he going to run out of paper, though? That Death Note is not like a super thick notebook. It's like a pretty small composition notebook. So, if he's going to write these long, elaborate plans and circumstances of death, it seems like he's going to run out of paper soon. Is he going to be able to accomplish his goal before the Death Note's full? Does it replenish? I don't know. But yeah, pretty impressive here. So I want to see if we're going to get a reaction. Yeah, Ray Pinber. What did I say? Pinber. I want to see if we get a reaction from L. Like, is all of this going to make its way back to L? And that's the end of the episode. This was great. It really elaborated on the capabilities and the mechanism of the Death Note. And thank goodness right at the very beginning, Light said no to the offer of a Shinigami's eyes. The way that it went down at the end of episode 3, I was really thinking he was going to accept it. I thought he had gone mad with sort of power, mad with this supernatural power and this idea of being a god. But it was that very madness and ego and ambition and desire that actually led him to say no. So, I don't know, maybe it goes full circle. But anyway, he said no because he wants a long reign as the god of this world, which I like. That's even better. I mean, I love showing this kind of narcissistic psychopath who envisions himself as sort of the chosen one because he accidentally found a notebook. And he is even starting to manipulate the Shinigami. He's seeing beyond the Shinigami. He's finding clever new uses for this notebook, which goes back to the fact that he's a genius, like the brightest student in all of Japan, which must be pretty darn bright. But he's figuring out things nobody's ever figured out before about this ancient piece of folklore that's been around for a long time. Pretty cool. I continue to be impressed with it. And with that, I'll say I'm proud of you for watching anime, and I'll talk to you again soon, not next week.
I just want to say a big thank you to everyone who supports the channel on Patreon. It really means a lot to me. If you might be interested in Patreon perks like early access to videos, uncut reaction videos, ad-free videos, and the opportunity to vote on which anime will be covered in the future, then click on the link in the video description. Thank you.